it's interesting to see that Githeri man enjoying himself there. And of course here at the Bombers of Kenya, the National Tallying Center, the officials here are not having a good moment because they have been busy for the last 2-3 days making sure they verify, these results that are coming from, these polling stations. So far, this is what we know from the last briefing by the IEBC commissioners, that they have received results from 160 constituencies. These are results that are being validated here. They're being authenticated to make sure that we get a credible results at the end. At the same time, they've indicated they've received the all-important Form 34A. These are forms that they are receiving from across all the polling stations. As of this hour, they've received these forms, the Forms 34A from 40,300 polling stations. So they have like 500 more to cover. Something else that happened today at the Bombers of Kenya is that one of the presidential candidates, Kuru Aukot, considered a defeat. Of course, he thanked Kenyans for coming out and, giving him that support required. And he clearly indicated that he's going to contest come 2022. Of course, we're going to talk more about 22 and, the politics surrounding it. But for now, we have to handle the elephant in the room. And that has everything to do with this year's election. And with me here in our makeshift studio, I'm not alone. I'm together with former Electoral Commission of Kenya Commissioner, Ambassador Jack Tumwa, a man who has, experience as far as electoral matters is concerned. Many thanks, Ambassador, once again for joining us here.
Thank you, Yusuf,
You've
for
seen the
having
results
me.
coming in from all these constituencies, 160. We're yet to get results from 130 constituencies so that we get to reach the 290 mark. So there are those who are saying that this process is painfully slow. Is this normal?
Thank you, Yusuf, for inviting me to the studio.
Welcome.
Allow me to start by saying that nobody can doubt the fact that Kenya is at the moment going through very trying moments. But like they say, extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures.
Yes, yeah.
I think it is necessary now, and we know that Mwananchi all over the country is hopeful. Mwananchi all over the country is praying that our leaders and we Kenyans navigate through these rugged grounds and get through safely. I want to believe, and I would know that our leaders have it that no leader will want to push this country into a situation where we will have like what we had in 2007. Yes. So my prayer and my hope is that we are going to do everything possible to avoid that type of stuff. Now, coming to the pace of the workings,
yes, I
know that with the new technology, we hoped that things will be much, much faster than they are at the moment. But the people who worked out the law and said that we have 7 days maximum within which the IBC should give the results.
We have already covered 3 days.
We have already covered 3 days. But I want to say that I believe they had the past experience. Because if you look at 1997, if you look at the year 2002, if you look at the referendum, the results took us anything between 4 and 7 days for it to be announced. So what is happening now, I really don't think it is anything for us to be very worried about because the results are coming in. And I think Mwananchi, wherever he is, understands exactly what was happening, what would have necessitated.
So, Ambassador, based on past experiences, you've said the results come in on the 4th day.
I'm saying,
so we do expect the results maybe from tomorrow.
We were given to understand from the briefing of the chairman that hopefully by tomorrow midday we shall have gotten all the results. And when we get the results, I think then we shall know, we can set our pace. But of course, IEBC has not lost itself to the legal requirement that it has to give us the results within the 7 days as stipulated.
Of course, we have 4 more days to go.
Yes.
And IBC are already on record calling on Kenyans to be calm, to be patient, so that they continue verifying all these results that are still trickling in from all the polling stations, all the constituencies in the country. You were a commissioner with ECK. You've had experience as far as matters election is concerned. Can you give us a rough picture on what is happening as far as, what are these commissioners thinking about? Because the last time they spoke to us was at 2:30 p.m. 6 hours or 7 hours later, we're yet to hear from them.
It is very difficult to keep within the schedule as given. because a lot is going on behind the curtains. There are meetings, there are consultations, and sometimes you go to a meeting, it takes a lot longer than is required. Not only that, we expect that when the commissioners come to give a briefing, they have to have something to really tell the public, because we are anxious. So if there's nothing really that looks like is new, I don't expect that they will just come up and tell the people, well, we are holding a meeting somewhere. So I think it is what information have they collected that will be useful to the public.
Is it normal, maybe perhaps, is it the norm that they might be getting pressure from the political class especially?
Pressure is expected, and it's not just from the political classes.
Accompanied by a lot of phone calls.
There are a lot of pressure. There are telephone calls, there are meetings, there are consultation. As I said earlier, it is a time when these people have no time. I really don't know whether they are sleeping here or having any time to go home.
Most of them, but they must be spending here.
It is very, very demanding because every other Kenyan wants to know what is happening here or there. And I hope that there is a softening ground so that all phones are not coming direct to the chairman or to the commissioners. There should be secretariat to filter and know what type of information can be given by the chairman, what can be given by the secretary, etc.
There's some political pundits who are saying that what will invalidate this election will be evidence that actual results were tampered with, and not that the system has been hacked into. And from the briefing that we've been receiving from the opposition, that is the NASA outfit, it seems they're very much concentrating on whether the system has been hacked into, and not, concentrating on whether these results have been cooked. Do you think they are wasting their energy?
I think they are related. They're related in this way. If the system was hacked into, and you may recall that the chairman came and told us that there was an attempt. He didn't say it was hacked into. First, I want to say that if there was an attempt, I think it is necessary for the chairman to let the complaining group know how he knew it was hacked, whether there was an attempt, and what type of attempt, how far did it go. This sharing of this information may help to cool the tempers from the other side. But given that the NASA is saying it was hacked. If it was hacked, it will inevitably affect the results that are being verified now, because it means there will be a variance between the information that we already have and what will be on Form 34B. So they are related.
So they are related, but they're also saying these results, most of them are, of course, on this Form 34B.
Right.
It's something that it cannot be interfered with as far as the hacking is concerned. Hacking happens with computers. So do you think it's important for the opposition to focus more on these results based on those figures that are on Form 34B, rather than concentrating on who hacked into the system?
No, I wouldn't tell the opposition where to concentrate. But what I'm saying is, if there is a point of meeting between what the NASA is saying and what the commission said, because remember the complaint was the Form 34B was supposed to have been sent in at almost the same time as the other results were coming in. So since we have been given that tomorrow by midday, hopefully, all the forms will be here.
Actually, the agents have been given a deadline of tomorrow at 12 p.m. Another development
being given deadline, is a different thing. The communication from wherever these forms are, I think we should not give deadline, because we give expectations, and when we don't meet them, we raise anxiety. So I think let's hope that by end of the day tomorrow, we shall have received the full result, and the verification will be coming to an end.
So far, 2 presidential candidates have considered defeat. Yesterday it was Dr. Kavinga Kaluyu. Today was Dr. Kuru Aukot. And they all have their representative here as far as their agent is concerned. So do you think it's important for them to still have their agency as far as, as far as the verification is concerned?
We are a democracy. And,
it's important for them to be.
And we continue. Elections is not ending today. After these elections, we are thinking about the 2022. The agents may want to learn something from what is going on. So I think it's as important that they continue seeing what it is, because just like we had observers, they came, they saw. Actually, I want to add, most of the observers who come come to observe an event called voting. It is not election, because election is a 5-year process. It's a cycle of 5 years. So this came in at the end, and they made the observation. I saw one of them promising that they are going to make reports, which hopefully will improve on our practices. So the observers, such as the ones who are in also, they're also learning, and hopefully they can learn something that will help them come the next election.
Of course,
remember, Okut promised. He has already declared that he's going to be a candidate.
He really needs the experience.
He needs the experience, yes.
Once again, let's talk about the timelines and, how long this verification or this validation process is going to take. We already have results from 160 constituencies. How long do you think it's going to take before Kenyans will officially get a final result from IEBC?
It is difficult for me to give an answer because I'm not there. And I don't know exactly.
Based on past experiences?
Well, ours were coming in over time. And I recall that we went through almost a similar process. When we had a dispute, I think it was on 30th.
Yes.
And the parties demanded that we go to do the audit. We took a whole night to do the audit. I think we started at about 8. And by 8 in the morning, we were through with the auditing. We were able to give the report. But that is a different matter because almost everything was manual. I don't know exactly what process they're using here, so I can't really take a chance of saying they should be through by this time or the other time. Yeah.
Well, from the silence we've received, the silence has been too loud as far as, the communication from the IEBC is concerned. The last time they spoke to us, once again, is at 2:30 p.m. And you've talked about the pressure that these commissioners are undergoing right now. Do you think it's important for them to, maintain focus and not to be compromised in any way?
One thing, I want to compliment the IEBC because I think they have tried to keep the public informed. Both the chairman has been coming up quite often. The executive Chiloba has also been doing that. And it is important to, in order to cure the anxiety that is affecting Mwananchi, for them to come up regularly to inform us about what is happening. But as I say, since we have come to a level where we are doing the tabulation, which we hopefully come out tomorrow, I'm hoping that before midnight, someone will come up and tell us what has happened from the time they gave us the brief and now. Yeah.
Many thanks, Commissioner. Ambassador Jack Tumwa, of course, will keep going on with this conversation right here at the Bomas of Kenya. Of course, this is the National Tallying Center where the validation, the verification, the authentication of this result is still going. A lot of words to describe this process, Joy, just to make sure we get a credible result as far as the presidential contest is concerned. At the time, President Uhuru Kenyatta is still leading NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga as far as the provincial result is concerned. Joy, once again, the last time we had a communication from the IEBC commissioners was at 2:30 p.m. And at that time, they communicated that they've received results from 160 constituencies out of the 290. So they're still waiting for 130 more. Maybe they've made some stride. We're yet to know, but we're yet to receive some sort of communication from them. But we do believe they're going to communicate with us any moment from now. As far as the polling stations is concerned, they've received results from 40,300 polling stations out of the possible 4,000, about 800 there. So, Joy, we're still here at the Bomas of Kenya, making sure that our viewers don't miss anything as far as this verification process is concerned. We're going to update you more once we get any sort of development from this end. Joy.
All right, thanks a lot, Yusuf. That is Yusuf Ibrahim at the Bomas of Kenya, bringing us all the latest developments. And what he said about what the IEBC said is just about the same information they tweeted at about the same time, at about 2:22 p.m. They said, as at 2 p.m. we had 117 constituency tally forms, 34B, and only 1,032